everybody, welcome to my channel, and this is making of Android game in Unity. And let's get started. For that you need a Unity software. I am using 2018.4. It is a long-term support version, so I'm going to double click on it. Let's click on this new button, and I'm going to call this one Android game, and let's create a project. Now our brand new project is ready. Let's click on this file and build settings, and click on this Android and select switch platform. If you don't have this platform, you can click on that platform and you will find a download open page. You'll click on this button and the Android module will be downloaded. I have pre-downloaded it, so I'm going to switch my platform. Now our platform is switched, and you can see that the Android is written here. It means that we are working in Android environment. To set up an Android environment, you need some dependencies like Java, JDK and JRE, because Android run in Java environment, so you need to install those softwares. And after installing those software, you can click on this edit button and go into the preferences, external tools, and you need to add the link here. And you also need a Android SDK. You can find it online or you can download it from here, and you can add the link in this browse button. So this is the setup required for Android game. Let's get started. Let's create a circle. So I don't need any graphics in the game, I only need one circle, so I have pre-downloaded it here. Let's drag it into the Unity, and let's click on this one and change it to sprite and apply. So I have added my default resolution 1920 by 1080. You can do whatever you want, but I am setting it by my default scale. So let's click on this main camera and click on the skybox to solid color and make it white. And let's delete this direction light because we are working in unit 2D mode. Create a circle, so create UI image. Let's click on this canvas and click on this canvas scaler and set the size to 1920 by 1080 default 2K resolution, and set this value to 0.5. and let's drag the circle to it here, and let's change its color to black. After changing its color, let's rename this object to called circle, and let's add. Now let's drag this circle into the project panel, and now it has turned itself into a prefab. And we want to spawn this circle randomly on the screen, and when we can if we tap on this circle, it gets destroyed, and we can add further more functionality in it. So let's create a script, call this one spawner, spawn manager. We want to spawn this circle randomly on the screen with random colors. So how we gonna do this? I'm going to open this script again, and let's have a reference to this circle. So public game object circle, public game object canvas, public game object, and public float minimum delay, and max delay, and public float min x position, and max x position, copy, and let's call this one y position and y position. Let's save it, and let's go into the hierarchy, into the Unity, and create an empty game object. Call this one spawn manager. Let's make sure that it's on the center of the screen. Spawn manager, and let's drag this spawn manager script to it. And now we have we have these variables. Let's drag this circle here, this canvas here. Let's call minimum delay 1, maximum delay 2, main x position let's say 80, and maximum position 1840. We have height of 1080, so minimum height would be 80 to 940. Now I have set these variables. Let's create a function. Let's call this function, let's create a function called spawn. So void spawn circle, and for that, for spawning we need three requirements. First the position, second the object we need to spawn, and the third thing is the rotation. So let's get the position first. The position takes three arguments, x, y, and z. So let's create a vector 3. Vector 3 position is equals to new vector 3. Let's say this one for x we're gonna say random dot range, and min x position and max x position. And for y we're gonna do the same. Let's copy this one and paste it here, and let's replace it by min y and max y position. And let's, for z let's say 0, and let's instantiate. So I'm going to say game object clone is equals to instantiate the instantiate function generate object at runtime, and instantiate the first argument is the game object we want to spawn. So I'm going to say circle, and the second is position, so we have created position, and the third is quaternion dot identity. It means that 0 rotation. So we have generated our object. Now we want to generate our object as a child of canvas. So what I'm gonna do is clone dot transform dot position transform dot set parent, and I'm going to say canvas dot. Now we want to call this function timely based on our maximum and minimum delay. For that, let's create a variable called float timer. Let's say timer is equals to random dot range, and min delay, max delay. Let's say time equals to time dot delta time, and let's add here, and if time less than equals to 0, so if timer less than equals to 0, we're gonna call this function spawn circle, and let's do it now again. Now you can see that our circles are spawning after some irregular interval of time. Let's change the colors of these circles. Let's set it to some random colors every time a circle is created. So how we're gonna do this? Let's create a function called get color, so whose return type would be color get random color, and let's say return new color dot range 0 f to 1f. So this is going to be our red value, and same for our green value. So I'm going to copy this here and here 3 times. So this function will give us a random color. So what I'm gonna do is let's add our UI library Unity engine.ui, and I'm going to say game object dot, I'm going to cyclone dot get component image dot color is equals to get random color. That's it, and let's save it and test it. So let's play it again. Now you can see that after some irregular interval of time over circles and circles are spawning, and it's very beautiful. So now what we want to do is whenever we click this circle or touch this circle from our Android device, this circle get destroyed, and later we're gonna add scoring to it. So how we gonna do this? Let's click on the circle and add component called event trigger, not event system, event trigger, and let's create a script called circle. I'm going to open this and I'm going to create a function on it. So public void on click circle, and I'm going to write only one line. I'm going to say destroy this dot game object. So I'm going to attach this function on each instance of the script. So let's drag circle script here and add event on pointer down. So this function, this event will call whenever we touch the circle, and click on this plus sign, drag the circle game object here, and let's find the function called on click circle. So let's click on this override and apply all and save it. Let's disable this circle and play. Now why is the circle is not spawning? Let's enable this circle as well and play now. Now you can see that whenever we click the circle, our circle is destroyed. What is wrong? Spawn manager. Oh my god, I have made a mistake. You need to drag this circle here and disable this circle. Now let's play again. Now you can see that whenever we click on the circle, we are getting destroyed. Now what else we can do, we can add a scoring system. So for scoring system we need to create a UI text, and let's call this score, and score colon 1. Let's double click on this one and enable this 2D mode, and let's increase its size to 20. 20 is a bit small, let's say 40. And for 40 it is not visible because the content is greater than the size of this box. So I'm going to increase the size of this box. Now you can see our score here. Let's click on this text, and you need to hold shift and alt of your keyboard and select this anchor button here. So you can see that our score is at the bottom of at the top left corner of the at the top left corner of the screen. Let's change its color to be a bit more darker. Yes, and let's link it with our script spawn manager. Okay, let's create a game object, or let's create a text type variable, public text score, and public int underscore scr. Let's set it to 0. Underscore scr is equals to 0, and in our update function I'm going to say score is dot text is equals to score colon space plus scr. So it updates our text, and whenever we destroyed a score we need to add a value to this. So how we gonna do this? We need to go into this circle, and I'm going to say game object dot find object of type, and let's call this one spawn manager, and dot underscore scr is plus equals to 1. So what it'll do is it will increment the score value by 1. So let's save this and test it. We need to drag this text here, and let's try it now again. Now let's test it. Now if I click on this one, you can see our score is incrementing. Now our basic gameplay is ready. Let's build it for Android, or how we can build it in our mobile. So that is our real target. So what I'm gonna do is let's click on this file, build settings, and click on this player settings. Let's add our default icon, let's say this circle, and click on this other settings, and you need to give it to any unique identifier. I'm going to say com dot code dot hdf. And what else we're gonna do is let's go into this publishing settings, and let's try to build it. Let's rename this resolution settings, and you need to go to landscape. Let's select this default original landscape left, and I'm going to select Gradle to internal. And from publishing setting you need to click this use legacy settings. So our build settings are ready. Let's add our open scene here. Click on this build, and I'm going into this desktop. Let's call this Android game, and click save button. So it will take a while and it will build. If you get prompted from these kind of pop-ups, let's click this use highest installed. Generated, and we're gonna install it in our phone. Now I have copied this APK in my phone, so I'm going to click on the files and going into the destination where I copied my APK file into the internal folder, and this is where I copied the APK. Let's click on this, install. It will take some time, install it anyway, and let's don't resend and click open. Now our application is installed and open. So let's see, if I click on this circle, it should add our score. So let's tap on it, let's tap on it again, and now guys, you can see that our circles are destroying as we click on them. So I am tapping on them and destroying them. So that's how you can build a game and make a game in Unity.